elimination games, 9 versus 10s, begins in the East. Heat Bulls, 7 Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN. Winner takes on Atlanta Friday to determine the 8th seed in the conference and a first-round playoff series with Cleveland. Doubleheader capping off with Mavericks Kings in the West. Memphis faces that winner Friday to determine 8th in the conference and a first-round series with OKC. Florida sophomore Alex Condon, fresh off winning the national title, told ESPN's Jonathan Givony he'll enter June's NBA draft while maintaining his NCAA eligibility. He's the number 29 prospect in ESPN's draft projections.
The sound of the organ, the crack of the bat.
It is gone.
The sight of watching the ball go over the wall, and the taste of peanuts and Cracker Jacks. There's nothing like it. It's America's pastime. From the first pitch to the final out, you can hear every game right here on your home for Alabama baseball.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Sports Talk, 24/7, 365. Your full-time sports station.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Doesn't anyone do any work around this joint anymore?
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Hello and welcome in to the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk, 2 hours straight of sports talk. And I say that, Joe, but today I don't know how much sports talk we're actually going to be getting into because it is a wacky Wednesday here in the studio on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as ESPN Winchester. For all our Tennessee listeners, you guys are invited to the phone lines as well at 256-576-4977, as well as over on WZZN TV on our YouTube page. Make sure you guys subscribe to that bad boy so you don't miss any of the visual action that we have to offer here on the station. Joe, Braves got themselves a loss yesterday, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, they got themselves a win in the form of Spencer Strider.
Yes.
Back in the lineup, baby. We're back to vintage Braves now.
Happy Spencer Strider Day. No, not vintage Braves. We still don't have Acuna.
This is
He has been
vintage.
Acuna has been approved though to start getting into ramping up his workout so that he would be closer to being available to come back and start a rehab stint there. Craig Kimbrell pitched last night down in Columbus for whatever in God, the Gladstones or Cobblestones or whatever they're called.
The gallbladder?
I don't know what it's called, but he pitched down there in a nice peach uniform that he wore during the game.
Which are pretty cool. They are nice. They're not as good as what they were, but let's just be honest.
So it was, you had the Braves going up. Now they're actually going to be starting here in about 3 hours, and we're going to have that on 97.7 ESPN The Zone as well as ESPN Winchester. So no Tom Abraham show today.
Yeah, he doesn't have a show. He gets to take his day off and play willy-nilly. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think he's going to be getting into? Do you think he's going to be watching the Braves game, or do you think he's going to be on a boat somewhere in Winchester, Tennessee?
I honestly have never thought about what Tom does in his free time. Just being straight with you.
I'll tell you,
never thought
there's
about
two things. It's either being on a boat or it's, I don't know, raking the leaves or something like that. He actually used to make us rake the leaves after he mowed over them. So, just a little backstory on that little baby A backstory.
But and with all of that, you have all of that going on. Coming up here in about 15 minutes from right now, we are going to have the coolest part of the show that we have probably had in years.
The coldest Crawford?
No. I don't even know who that is.
He hit the transfer portal.
Oh, no. There's a lot of guys hitting that. We're about to hit on that here in just a minute. Jeremy Long, who is the founder of the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo that's going to be coming into town April 25th and 27th, or April 25th through the 27th down at the VBC. He's going to join us to talk about all of the absolutely amazing guests that they are going to have this week or next week. At the event, there's going to be all sorts of Comic-Con people as far as costume contests. There's going to be like D&D game boards, all this stuff.
A whole lot of vendors, dude.
Yes.
It's such a fun experience. And I know, Joe, I brought it up to you yesterday, and you were like, "Oh, like Comic-Con?" I was like, "No, it's the Comic and Pop Culture Expo.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing."
I know,
but
yes,
it is pretty legit to be able to say Comic-Con, and you're thinking of the exact same thing. It's been around in Huntsville for 10 years now. It's going on its 10th year, and it has grown so much. And we've had him on the show 2 times before. I think we might have skipped a year in between.
Right.
But now we're going back to back with Jeremy Long, and he's going to get to tell us all the deets that's going on at the VBC.
Professional wrestlers that are going to be there. You're going to have William Shatner is going to be there. You also have Priscilla Presley is going to be there. She's my cousin. She doesn't know it, but she's my cousin.
Is she?
Yeah, no, she is.
Okay.
You also have members from Saved by the Bell, 90210, as well as it's something that is even going to be talked about even more over the last 48 hours. Is you have some former Power Rangers that are going to be there as well. The new documentary just came out on Max. Jeremy and I were just talking about it because I'm halfway through it. He finished it yesterday. Really cool. It is on Max. It's basically talking about all the behind the scenes stuff there. And a lot of the people that are going to be here, the 3 Rangers that are going to be here, 2 of them are in the documentary. So it's pretty legit. Yeah, it's pretty cool there.
I've gotten to meet some pretty awesome people at this event. I met Master Chief last year. All I had to do was shake his hand. I told him my name was John, and he said, "That's a great name." And I said, "Thank you."
That's all I need. That's all you need.
And then I moved on from that. And we also got to meet, and this is wonderful because we just started, me and my old lady, we were watching The 100. All right, Joe?
Yeah.
And you know The 100. I know The 100. We got to a point where I started really liking the main character. She always loved these characters from her younger years. And then we finally got to see them up on the panel, and it was just a wonderful experience. I didn't think it'd be so cool, but it definitely was.
So that is coming up here in just a minute. But yes, transfer portal wide open. Nico is officially in to it, but he's got like a DND. He's got like a, hey, I'm in, but do not disturb. Do not talk to me. Do not give me calls.
Will he ever be out, Joe? That's the question. Who's going to pay him the money?
Oh, he going to be out. He is definitely going to be out. He's already going to be out a lot of money, but he is going to be out he is going to be in there. He's not the only big name that has entered the transfer portal so far. If you are an Auburn fan, because obviously things are going so well for the team right now,
they are.
that whole quarterback issue that you had and wanting to improve your offensive line, it's not going to help your offensive line improve when your all SEC freshman decides that he wants to enter the transfer portal, because starting left guard Braden Joyner just entered the portal. Played in 10 games last year. He started the last 6 games for Auburn, and he's an Auburn high school grad. Like, dude, how bad does it have to be when you literally graduated from the high school, you go to the university and you're like, you know what? Peace out. I'm done. I'm done here.
Yeah, that is tough. And I think this is perfect. It's a perfect time to get on some of our guests from these SEC teams, SEC schools, to see, the players that are leaving and the impact that they're going to make. Because I was talking about this Auburn team with Jackson Arnold, and I was thinking that, hey, there might be something there that a lot of people might be overlooking. But the offensive line has to hold up, because that's one thing that was a little bit back and forth over at Oklahoma that hopefully Auburn would be able to solve. But right now it's kind of going the opposite way.
No, and here's a name that may or may not be interesting just because of the history. He was the number 2 running back in the 2022 class. No, but Branson Robinson only rushed for like 75 yards last year for Georgia, but he just entered the transfer portal as well. He was like the number 3 or 4 running back for Georgia last year. But because of the rating before he went to Georgia and the fact that he's got a lot of tread on the tires still, you would wonder, okay, how much interest is he going to get as well? Who were you thinking I was about to talk about?
I was actually thinking Micah Hudson. The 5-star wide receiver that went to Texas Tech for his first year. Then he was thinking, I'll just go down the road, Texas A&M, my next school. And only a month into that, he already wants to transfer, but he had to wait for the portal to open again. He's officially back into the portal, as well as, was it Jalen Ott, the California running back that didn't get too many carries last season, but the year before, he was like all Pac-12. And now, of course, it's the ACC that California is a part of. But regardless, didn't have a great season. He's transferring. He's coming to the SEC. And Joe, he's in.
He is a Sooner.
Oh yeah,
he's a Boomer Sooner. He is just it is signed with Oklahoma, according to On3, who is basically just all over every bit of this. Here's what's sad. And I just thought about this as we were going through this list, and we're like, hey, he is in the portal, and this guy is in the portal, and this guy is in. Do you realize? I think that we are more excited for transfer portal day than what we were for any national signing day over the last 2 or 3 seasons.
I'd say the last season. And I'd also say over the spring games as well, or spring practices.
Yeah.
So is this a new thing?
I think this is the new thing. I really genuinely do. I think this is the new thing. It's a who is in, who is going to be entering the transfer portal. I mean, look, we're going to talk to Jeremy Long for a few minutes. And by the time that we get finished with him, there's probably going to be 3 or 4 other big names that are going to be in there by the time that we just get to 10 o'clock.
Yeah, at least 3 stars.
I mean, this is what right now, according to On3, the biggest names that are in the transfer portal that are uncommitted at the moment is obviously Nico. Also, it is a former wide receiver at Boise State, Cameron Camper. He is in as well. And then you also have Trey Davis, a wide receiver, and then Jaden Rashada from Georgia is one as well. That is at least the ones at the moment that are considered the top ranked players in the portal.
You're forgetting one guy, and this is the only guy you need to care about.
I'm so glad we called SOS. RAC is the coldest.
What in heaven's
I'm
name
always
is
the coldest.
Hey, this is Dakota Crawford, wide receiver from Louisiana, now playing in Lincoln.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, he's the coldest. He was at Nebraska first. He went to Louisiana Tech, and he's in the transfer portal as well. This was a viral ad, Joe, for SOS Heating and Cooling. Not sponsored, but Dakota Crawford, one of the first to make a big NIL deal, is on his way out. So he's also in the transfer portal, Joe. I thought I had to slip that one in there.
So according to On3 right now, we've heard over the last 24 hours, Tulane is out on Nico. UCLA is out on Nico. North Carolina is out on Nico. So you're starting to hear these teams have kind of dropped it.
I don't know if UCLA's out, but again, they did pick up some traction throughout the offseason already. They don't need a quarterback. They definitely don't need a Nico, but they could use them.
On3 is saying that there are multiple programs that are possibly wanting to hop in on the Nico transfer if his price tag drops. Because right now it's at about
all for it.
Look, last year he made roughly over $2 million.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's weird we're talking about this like it's the NFL.
Supposed to make $8 million across his 4 years at Tennessee.
And so he wanted to make $4 million this year, which is the reason why all of this kind of started in the first place. The thought process, though, is that now because these schools are going and because the portal's open and he's not getting the phone calls that he's wanting, that the price tag may drop below 2 million, maybe even to 1 million, and then other schools are wanting to hop in. What would be really funny is if the price tag drops from 2 million to 1 million, and Tennessee's like, all right, if you want to come back for 1 million, you can.
Come on.
You can.
Sign your NIL deal with In-N-Out because you were In-N-Out, and maybe, get with Spirit Airlines.
One in Nashville. They are getting one in Nashville.
And heck,
so, hey.
Why not sign with a shady Delta 8 company? Because you got to be high as a kite to sign this guy.
Yeah.
The price that he's wanting, come on.
Yeah. So the thought is that this were to drop to $1 million, I would love to see the teams that are on this list. Also, Hugh Freeze, stop being an idiot.
What's he doing now?
Give the man no.
Oh,
give the man a call. Please give him a call. There's no way on earth you can be sitting in your quarterback room right now with all of your offensive coaches and be going, you know what? I think Jackson Arnold's going to be the one this year. I think, you know what? No, I think he's going to be. Go ahead and give Nico a call.
If
his
job is on the line, which it sure as well might be.
Oh, no, it is.
You give him a call.
No,
just give him a call.
There is you have a quarterback that I don't want to go to the Manning Passing Academy because I want to hang out with my teammates. You can already see this man's an idiot.
But a question, if he signed with Auburn, wouldn't he have to sit out a year?
No.
He wouldn't?
I don't think so.
I thought in conference.
Yeah. If that's the case, then yeah, no, Hugh Freeze can't do it.
Could he come back to Tennessee even at that point?
Well, I mean, I get you can pull your name from
I
the
guess
list.
you can. Yeah.
I mean, you can pull your name from it.
Pulling out of the draft. It's
But,
a similar,
yeah.
similar story. Either way, Joe, we got a lot of fun stuff to get into today. We even have the cover 5. It is a wacky Wednesday. But before we do all of that, Jeremy Long from the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo is going to be joining us to talk a little bit about the event going on next weekend. Very much looking forward to that. And you guys should be as well. And don't forget the phone line, 256-576-4977. When we get back. Oh, what, Joe?
You are correct. So he couldn't go to Auburn. You are correct on that. Yeah, no, it says SEC restrictions prohibits players from transferring between conference schools in the spring window.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal. And we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beams likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of iconic casinos, world-class shows, dining, and entertainment. Las Vegas. With flights starting as low as just $79, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Las Vegas. Book nonstop to Las Vegas now at flybreeze.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hello, welcome back into the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk here with you guys 2 hours straight. here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and ESPN Winchester. As always, the show presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up, just like a bunch of guests are going to be showing up in the upcoming weeks. A lot. And I look at them, and I got to say, Joe, I am just astonished with the people that are just bringing or coming here to Huntsville for this event. And we got the guy that's controlling it all here in studio with us.
No, we do. It's Jeremy Long, who is the founder of the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo that's going to be taking place next weekend, April 25th through the 27th, and is something that for myself, I was, I grew up in an age where, I thought about the, Dragon Con over in Atlanta and things like that I would go to, and I'd be like, this thing is so amazing. But for me and somebody that's been out of Huntsville for a few years, like, I knew of this, but I didn't know like the size in which it had gone. Like for me, Jeremy, like, how did you get started with coming up with the idea of doing an event like this in Huntsville?
So first off, thanks for having me on. And it was a kind of I won't say it just happened, but like I've always been into comics, and years ago, I started buying and selling comics just for extra income while I was waiting tables. And then I started doing shows, and I would go to Nashville, I would go to Atlanta, I'd go to Birmingham, I'd go to, heck, even Sheffield, Alabama had one. But there was exactly. If you've gotten there, you've taken a wrong turn somewhere in your life. But Huntsville didn't really have something. And I did a show in Nashville, south of Nashville. It was supposed to be a 2-day show. And by 12:30, the show had been open for 2.5 hours. There was roughly 10 people that came to the door. And so I packed up and left because I had already missed my son's soccer game that morning. And I was like, I'm not missing dinner. And the whole the drive back, I was thinking, God, they could have done this. 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 And I get home and I'm telling my wife about it. And she looks at me and she goes, well, is it something you just need to do your own? I'm like, I've kind of been planning a show the last 2 hours coming down 65.
There's nothing else to do.
There's nothing.
It's just a straight shot, man.
Yeah. And so I just started putting all the stuff that was running around in my head onto paper, and about a month later I announced this show that was going to happen a year later. Oh, I made a Facebook page.
Yeah.
That was the announcement, was just making a Facebook page. All of a sudden I started getting all these likes, and then I started getting messages, how much your booth space? I'm like, I don't know.
Booth space.
I got
where's the venue? First we got to find the venue.
Well, and the funny thing is I had found the venue because I'd gone and looked at the South Hall. I'm like, this is way too big.
Yeah.
I don't know if 5 people are going to come to this thing. Well, then I went to the JC's building and I was like, this is perfect. And they found an empty date about 11 months later. I was going to do it next March. But I didn't sign on it. I didn't, so I announce it and then I start selling booth space. I'm like, I guess I better go reserve the building.
Yeah.
And so it was such a I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm not a professional planner or anything. And, I'm not even an amateur planner at times. And so, but I started this thing, and the JC's building was perfect. It's about 12,000 square feet. We had no guests. It was about $5 to get in. It was a 1-day show. And I didn't know if we were going to have 10 people or 100 people come. In that first year, it was about 1,500 people through the door. Wow. And we didn't do pre-sales or anything. I didn't spend a dime on marketing either.
Yeah, you weren't on the radio either to prep this thing.
No,
yeah.
I did Facebook posts, not ads. And again, this is this first show was 2016. So, Facebook ads weren't as in your face and a thing. And Craigslist wasn't scary at the time.
That's changed.
Exactly. And so, but I did Craigslist posts. I did, what's happening in Huntsville. I made comments there and stuff. And so I did all this advertising for free. I was on some TV spots because I just reached out to them. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just emailing any email address I could find. And like I said, we had about 1,500 people come to the door. And I could see that it was going to be a big thing about a month before the show. And so I went ahead and looked and found North Hall at the BBC. And so I'm like, okay, well, next year we're going to move there. That's twice as much space, and we're going to move to 2 days. So we were in the North Hall for 2 years at 2 days, and then we moved to part of South Hall, and then we moved to all of South Hall, and then we expanded to 3 days. And so this year is year 10, which is just crazy because it was just this crazy idea I had on the way home. And we will have over 75 special guests. We're 3 days. We're expecting attendance of 25 to 30,000 people. We've expanded. We're all of South Hall. We're all of East Hall and all points in between. It's massive. And I say we're East Hall, but I booked these halls 4 years ago. Like with the VBC being the only game in town for a large event, you have to book it way out.
Absolutely.
And so, I've got my dates through 2030.
Do you really?
Yeah, because I have to.
It's like the Super Bowl right now.
Yeah.
And no wonder the Havoc never be able to play a home game for the playoffs. They have to book 5 years in advance for everything.
Monster Jam up there. Yeah. Everything going on.
Well, see, funny enough, the arena is the one thing I never want.
Yeah.
I don't need 10, 12,000 square feet with 6,000 chairs looking at it.
And I remember last year, Monster Jam was going on at the same time. Yeah. So that makes sense that everything is still kind of going on at the same time.
Yeah. The VBC, they get theirs. I will tell you that. And the tricky part is, once you expand, you can't come back. So that's why I have to get dates so far out because, now moving forward, I always have to have a weekend when all of South Hall and all of East Hall is available. And little insider information, in 27, we add Saturn Ballroom that used to be North Hall.
That's pretty awesome.
So we'll have another 40,000 square feet.
Wow.
And
you're basically taking over 3/4 of the VBC.
This is like Risk right now. You're just playing a game of Risk.
And, there's talk of me taking Mars Music Hall, at least on Saturday, and doing live music all day.
That'd be awesome.
And I don't know, I may put something in the arena, or I may just book it so that Monster Jam can't be there.
Oh, well, the trucks are cool. They're just loud.
No. We need it for the President's Cup, man. We need that for that's when the President's Cup always happens. So you book it and just be like, hey, look, guys, I want to donate
I'll hold
this.
it for the
yeah, hold it. That's exactly it. But no, and with this and as it has grown the entire time, you talked about the first year there were no guests.
Right.
Who was the first guest?
So the first guest on year 2, we had 4. We had 2 media guests and 2 comic guests. And it was crazy because the 2 comic guests were 2 just legends. Mike Grell, who's been an artist in comics for 40 plus years, done great work. And then Chris Claremont, that literally wrote X-Men for 20, 30 years, and not only saved the X-Men comic title, but some could argue he saved Marvel Comics. And then the 2 media guests, we were talking earlier about Power Rangers. Yes. I had David Yost, who was the original Blue Power Ranger, and Joey Fatone from NSYNC.
Heck yeah.
It was the craziest mashup of guests. And Joey did exactly what I thought he would do, because now moms were coming with the dads to bring the kids.
Right.
But we were in year 2, we grew, but we had, 2,400 people through the door. So he did exactly what I thought he would do, bring people in. And then year 3, we had 8 guests. Year 4, we had about 20 guests. Year 5 was COVID. So we had like 40 plus guests lined up, and we were supposed to be in April. Well, then the world closed, and we actually shifted 3 months to the right and actually did a show in July of 2020. Awesome. When nothing was happening. We had a show. Our aisles were 15 feet wide. We required masks.
I remember that year.
It was, it looked very weird over the 2 days, we had 4,000 people through the door, but it just looked, because we had all of South Hall at that point, and everything was so spaced out that it just always looked empty. There was hundreds of people in there, but they were so spaced out. I had people tell me it felt better. It felt safer than going to Publix, felt safer than going to Walmart, and this, that, and the other. And it was people asked, why did you do a show in 20? And I said, we were going to lose money if we had a show. We were going to lose money if we didn't have a show. And I wanted to have a show because, if you remember summer of 2020, everything was bleak. Nothing was happening. Baseball was being played in empty stadiums with cutouts of people's heads, in chairs to make it look.
It was comedic, but it was also sad.
Oh, I mean,
It's
look,
very
I was
sad.
talking to somebody earlier. I have a list still on my phone of all the documentaries, movies, shows, books, everything that I did when I was in quarantine.
I just made a bunch of Lego sets.
I mean,
guys.
seriously, it's this lengthy list of everything that I went back and watched on it because there was nothing happening at all.
Right. And so I wanted to do something to say, hey, the world's not over. We're going to come back. And a lot of the vendors and artists, they do these shows. That is their livelihood. And so I wanted to give them a chance to come in and make some money. And even the special guests too. There wasn't things being filmed. Voice actors weren't doing anything. And I had at least 2 special guests tell me I was about to run out of money. This will help me limp on for another 2 months.
That's
and
amazing.
so, I felt good about it. And then in 21, we rebounded and had over 9,000 people through the door. And I think in 21 we did have about between 30 and 40 guests, and then it's 50 and then 55. And then since this is year 10, I was like, I'm going to go big. I'm going to swing for all the fences. And we ended up with 75 guests. Still coming. We've lost some because we have such high caliber guests that, some of them are filming.
Yes.
And so, and that is their, lifeline. They do these shows kind of as a give back to the fans to meet them and stuff. But what they make at these shows is nothing compared to, a Netflix series or a network series. And so it's unfortunate when you have these bigger guests and they have to film, but we understand.
Yeah. I mean, in one of those we were talking about beforehand is Ernie Hudson.
Right.
And he was scheduled to be there, but he's got filming because filming's got moved up for him. So he's not going to be there. But the list of guys that you have and
crazy.
ladies that you have, like I sit and look at it now and I go, wait a second. William Shatner is going to be coming to Huntsville. Like, again, you think of him like, oh yeah, again, he's going to be there for Space and Rocket Center or something like that. But you have between him, you obviously have Daredevil is huge right now, and you're going to have Kingpin is going to be here. Like, I'm using their movie names because that's how I always remember them. But I mean, like, you start getting these types of guests. This isn't, we always talk about the growth of Huntsville. This is what it is. And Jeremy Long, who's the founder of Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo, is with us. Tell us about this list of people you have, because I mean, there are literally moms, dads, kids, uncles that have not paid attention to anything for decades. The weird uncle that just loves funny music, Weird Al. It's like those you have it for everybody.
Yeah. And that's what we try to do. We do have a lot of guests, but there's no more than like 3 or 4 for one genre or one show or something. So it's not so overloaded where people think, oh, well, if I want to do all this for Walking Dead, I'm going to have to spend $1,000 on 15 autographs or something like that. And so we have something for everyone. We've got, like you said, Weird Al. We've got William Shatner. We've got Erin Gray coming, and she was huge in the 70s days. We have Priscilla Presley coming.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Which is crazy. I mean, the level of people that we have come. We have some great voice actors with anime and video games. But then we have Jodie Benson, who was Ariel in The Little Mermaid, and Linda Larkin, who was Jasmine in Aladdin. So we have Disney princesses coming. We've got a trio from Encanto from a few years ago, which is a fantastic movie.
Yes, don't talk about Bruno.
No shame. We don't talk about him, but we got 3 of the cousins coming. Well, they're all cousins. Anyways,
they're not really cousins.
They're not really
cousins. Yeah.
But then we've got, people from Charmed and Buffy. We've got My Name is Earl.
Is this Nick Pauly? Is he the dancer for Deadpool in the Deadpool movie?
Yes.
That's awesome.
He's nicknamed Dance Pool.
Okay.
So if you saw Deadpool and Wolverine, the opening credits, and this isn't spoilery because the movie's been out almost a year, but it's Deadpool, attacking people. We'll just use the word attacking.
That's a phrase.
And he's dancing with Bye 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 from NSYNC, friend of the show, Joey. So he is Deadpool, and he actually has the suit. So his photo ops and everything will be in the Deadpool suit. So if you want a photo with MCU Deadpool because Ryan Reynolds is too busy to come hang out for now.
He's dealing with Mint Mobile, so it's like that whole thing's
he's
pretty busy.
Tried to call him, but the reception wasn't there.
It's hard to get a man who can travel through the multiverse. Okay,
right.
it's
True.
really hard. And Paulie's story is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
He just got a phone call
He
from his
did.
agent. Was like, "Do you know this dance?" And he was like, "No, why?" And then he told him, he's like, "Give me a minute."
Yeah. And he
so-
literally, he learned it like what, an afternoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, he learned it in an afternoon, went in and auditioned, and they said, "Okay, you're Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're it. Like
And
that
then-
is the guy."
If you watch the Oscars, he was on the Oscars.
Yeah.
And there's a scene from my that he posted where he's like getting ready, he's hyping himself up, and like Robert Downey Jr. walks by and like high fives him, and he's got the mask on and everything, but he literally, and you can see it through his gestures, he's like freaking out because he high fived Robert Downey Jr. as he's dancing, getting ready to go out and
Deadpool high five to Iron Man.
Right.
One day he'll be a part of the Avengers.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah, he's just not welcome right now. I mean, and then you go back to sitcoms from the 90s and the 2000s,
Yes.
like Jason Lee and Jamie Presley and
Mario Lopez.
Mario
and
Lopez.
Elizabeth Berkley.
Yeah.
Berkeley was here last year. She's so nice. And I mean, we all grew up on 90210 and Power Rangers. And we got Power. We got Saved by the Bell. We've got the icon Sting coming Sunday only, but he will be here in full face paint.
That's awesome.
For all of his photos and everything.
Is he going to come down from the rafters?
I don't think we can. Our insurance isn't going to allow that.
I can help with that. I've been on those rafters. Like, I mean, I can help you.
We always take some. My brother-in-law is a photographer, and he will go up there and take shots on Saturday of just the crowd and everything, and some awesome shots. If you go to our website, you can see some of them. But yeah, I'm just scrolling through our list here, and we've got some awesome comic creators. We've got Chris Claremont coming back. We've got Kevin Eastman, who created the Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
I mean, it's just
that
it's-
documentary is amazing as well.
Yes, and
Here's one that's really crazy, talking about the moms and everybody, because I know that you advertise them as, the Phantom and all that sort of stuff, but you literally have the a-hole boyfriend from the Titanic.
Yeah.
Billy Zane is going to be here. Like,
Just off the wall.
I mean, that's how I always think of it.
And that's the case with
And
a
the
lot of
Mummy.
these guys too.
Yeah,
Yeah. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Well, I was gonna, what you're saying, there's people who are like, I hate your character, and I'm like, well, that makes a good actor.
Yes.
If you hate that guy. What's funny is, right before I signed him, my wife and 15-year-old just watched Titanic, and so I was like, I've got Billy Zane coming, and my wife was like, how do I know that name? I'm like, it's the douchebag from Titanic. And Eli was like, I hate that guy. I'm like, you hate the character. Okay, he's the most beautiful man I ever saw. See,
Those
from-
eyes, man.
You go from Tombstone.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or Zoolander,
Yeah, and that's what I was going to connect it with. Whether you don't like a character in one movie or you love them in another, it's like it doesn't matter. Whichever person that you fell in love with or you noticed, they're probably going to be there, and they're just normal self. They've done all of these
Right.
different characters. You fell in love with one of them or you hated one of
Right.
them, you're going to recognize them. That's the best thing about it.
Well, one thing too, when I was making the panel schedule, because I do everything for the most part with this, but I was making the panel schedule, and the description of his panel is like, whether you love him or hate him, come listen about his career.
Yeah.
And going back to the cancellations that we've had, we try to make up for it.
Mhm.
So, but when it's within 2 weeks, I can't call someone and be like, hey, what are you doing next weekend? You doing
Yeah.
so? But when I got word that Ernie wasn't going to be able to make it, I reached out to my agents instantly, and I was like, who you got? But see, the thing is, there's no empty weekend. So our weekend, there's shows all over the country and all over the world too. And so, some of my agents were like, well, I got people at 6 different shows that weekend. But by doing that, we were able to get Frank Grillo, from the Purge series
Yes.
and the MCU. I mean, he was Crossbones in 2 Captain America movies.
Sorry, Captain. We can't
Right.
let that happen.
So you want to get
Yeah.
off this elevator before we get started?
Yeah.
It's such a crazy.
I mean, it is. See, this is the reason why
Yeah.
we know. Right when I saw his picture, I went, I know exactly who that man is.
Right. And then Garrett Hedlund from Tron Legacy and a crap ton of other stuff. And at the same time, Cooper Andrews from Walking Dead and Shazam sent me a text and was like, hey man, you got room to squeeze me in? I'm like, you're a big dude, but I can squeeze you in.
Yes.
And so, we lost Ernie, but we added 3 names.
Yes. You're Shazam's stepfather.
Right. And so, yeah, foster father.
Foster father, not stepfather. You're right on that. Yes.
But yeah, so, I try to, get something for everybody. And it's a crazy lineup. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I'm very excited about it. The coordinating of all of it with cars and flights and all that stuff is kind of a nightmare, but it's totally worth it.
Now,
don't doubt.
We're going to take a break because can you stand for a few more? Yeah.
You got me all day if you want me.
Jeremy Long we're not going to keep you there. Apparently you're a very busy man. We've learned this.
I can work during the break.
I mean, there we go. I'm sorry. Hold on, Joe. I gotta sit here and talk to Joey Lawrence real fast. Hold on. Let me text him back real fast. Yeah, so we'll hold Jeremy here because again, this event's happening next weekend, April 25th through the 27th. It is again star-studded in this, but there are things for everybody, even more than just the special guests that you're going to have. That we'll talk to you about this when we continue on the Blitz on this Wednesday morning, almost that afternoon. That's kind of crazy. Where we continue on ESPN Winchester on 97.7 ESPN The Zone as well as WZZN TV.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
NASCAR Cup Series week off for the Easter holiday weekend. Kyle Larson, the 3-1 favorite to win the Cup title after his win at Bristol. Christopher Bell plus 450. Denny Hamlin 6-1. Next week, the Jack Links 500 at Talladega. Scotty Scheffler plus 360 to win the RBC Heritage at Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. The Harbortown Golf Links, traditional spot for the week after the Masters. Colin Morikawa is 11-1. Xander Schauffele is 12-1. Blue Jays over the Braves 6-3 in Toronto yesterday. Spencer Strider on the mound for the Braves today against Chris Bassett of the Blue Jays. Atlanta laying $1.48 as the road favorite. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer again. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is extremely proud to have recently received numerous awards, including being voted best wings in the state of Alabama. Other awards received include Best All-Around Restaurant, Best American Restaurant, #1 Sports Bar, Best Chef, Best Wings, and Best Dining Experience. Thank you for 43 legendary years, and we look forward to providing you an award-winning dining experience at every visit. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof, not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Off and rolling here on a Wednesday edition of the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk, hanging with Jeremy Long as we look forward to the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo. It's going to be April 25th through 27th, and we barely touched the surface of what's going on at the BBC this upcoming weekend.
It is outlandish at all the things that are happening April 25th through the 27th over in the South Hall, the East Hall. And you and I were joking just a second ago about Sting. And I said, look, he's going to be in South Hall this time. And just a year ago, he was dropping from the rafters in the BBC.
Yeah,
like it's, he's returning over there. But this isn't just a special guest. I mean, Jeremy, as you're joining us in studio right now, so you can see him on WZZN TV, like this isn't just the special guest. Like you were talking about vendors and all this other stuff. For people that are going, well, what kind of vendors do you have at these events? What are they that people are going to be coming in and experiencing?
So it's basically a big nerdy market, if you will.
Woo!
Yeah, and it's comic books, it's video games, it's Pokemon cards, it's Magic cards, it's books, paintings, prints, t-shirts. I mean, a little bit of everything. Stuff you can't go to the mall and buy. Stuff you don't see at some of these, like the NEACA, arts, whatever,
Right. Yeah.
craft show that's at the BBC throughout the year. It's not that. It's really cool stuff. I mean, from toys to whatever, you can find it here, and vintage, new, all points in between. It's just cool to see too. I mean, and that's just one aspect of it. We've got a couple of fun, I won't call them food vendors because the BBC gets mad at those words.
Yeah, they like to make money off the concessions. Yeah,
right. But we've got two in particular, one near and dear to my heart. But one we've got called International Candy Company, and they get candy from all over the world. So you get Japanese candy, so it's some weird stuff. I mean, you get like all these different, one thing he's had before is like all these different flavored Kit Kats. And I'm like, just give me original, but they sell well. The Japanese candy goes well for him. Super great dude and his wife. But then the other one that's near and dear to my heart is Sweet Nana Sweets. And it's near and dear to my heart. She makes baked goods, whether it's cupcakes or cookies or cake slices or whatever.
I'm looking this up now.
Just a bad idea of talking food. I'm already hungry.
Yeah, look it up on Facebook. Sweet Nana Sweets. Near and dear to my heart because that's my mom.
Oh, okay.
No wonder
That's my mom.
This is the reason why it's so good.
It's so good.
You were her like test audience for years.
Subject right there.
Yeah, people ask, they're like, "How are you not so much bigger than you are?" I'm like, "Well, she doesn't live here, so I only get it, once a year."
Oh my heavens! She just put out like there's a picture of like a red velvet.
Oh,
cookie.
that's my favorite. Red velvet cookies are amazing. But anyways, last year, cool story. She literally sold out of everything she had every day.
Wow.
So her stuff is freshly baked. She gets, I get her and the rest of my family that's coming in from out of town an Airbnb house. So once she sells out, she leaves and she goes and starts baking.
Wait, she bakes all this in her house?
Yeah.
And then brings it to the event?
And then she'll bake some of it, here once she gets into town on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I could do a whole segment about Sweet Nana.
Man. All the different types of sweet treats.
And so what she's known for is a cream cheese pound cake. It's just amazing. And she does these lemon blueberry cakes that okay, I'm gonna stop talking.
He's gonna go through the whole menu.
I had cereal this morning and it didn't compare to any of what you were just saying.
Cinnamon roll. That's it.
So
it's kind of close.
I always have her kind of close to the special guest. So when you're there, head on over and follow your nose.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But yeah, it's good stuff. But anyways, so we have quite the variety of vendors and artists, and we've got local authors and regional authors and nationally known authors. One of our vendors, Jumpmaster Press, they are a publishing company, and they are bringing in Armin Shimmerman, who was Quark on the Star Trek Next Generation and Deep Space Nine series.
Yes.
He's an author now. So he's going to be there selling, his books, signing autographs and all that stuff. So if you like to read any kind of thing, we'll have tons of authors with all sorts of stuff. But it's quite the variety, and it's great just to walk up and down the aisles and just to look at all the neat stuff. People with different paintings that they've done and perler bead arts and, all sorts of stuff. So I always tell people, come in and just walk the aisles and see, because there's going to be something that reminds you of your childhood or that you think is the coolest thing you've seen all day and you want it in your home. I got a cross stitch, something that like you would see in a grandma's house. And it's a picture of a house and Godzilla, and it says, "May Godzilla destroy this house last." Because it's a play on "May God bless this house."
Yeah.
But it was like, "May Godzilla destroy this house last," and I was like, it just looks so old fat. I was like, I need that.
Very homey.
And exactly.
Yeah.
So it's hanging in my office. I'm a big Godzilla nut. So you'll never know what you find. And lots of neat stuff. And that's just the vendors and artists. We have out front in the South Hall, we have our community area, or our, won't call it a charity area, but we have a lot of nonprofits out there talking about what they do here locally. And then other shows that are in Chattanooga or Atlanta or whatever that are just passing out flyers. And then we also have our blood drive. Early on, I was always under the impression that if you are given a platform, or not a pedestal, I don't want to say a pedestal, but if you ever have a chance, use your opportunity for good. And so we partner with Kids to Love every year. And one of my favorite things to do is a few days after the show, my wife and I go out there and we give them a check. Last year, we wrote them a check for $20,000.
It's amazing.
And that money just stays right here in Tennessee Valley and helps foster kids and helps kids get adopted and all that good stuff. They're a great organization. So we give back to them. We have a blood drive where they give us a goal and we knock it out of the park every year. So I like to think that the expo has saved countless lives.
No, that is absolutely amazing. And Jeremy Long from the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo, the actual founder, not just from it, he's the guy that did the whole thing.
The dude.
And he still does
Some
it.
guy.
I mean, I honestly think that he may be you may see him this weekend or next weekend, like in an Uber vehicle driving it, just trying to get people back and forth from the airport.
Yeah, the parking's kind of tough down there.
I started the first several years, I did all the airport pickups myself.
See?
Wow.
But now, I mean, when it was 4 guests and 9 guests and whatnot, but now that we're, over 70 guests, I have a whole team. Now I do some pickups because sometimes I don't get to meet the guests. I often tell people it's kind of like a wedding. It's kind of like your wedding.
Yeah.
You spend all year planning it, and then everyone comes and everyone has fun and enjoys it except for you, and you don't get to eat because you're pulled in 1,000 directions, doing everything. But I say that, but in recent years, my team, because I've got a great team of volunteers, and they've been able to take on more and more stuff. And so I've released more and more stuff. Last year, I actually moderated a panel because I was able to be off the floor for an hour. I moderated the Bluey panel because that was one thing I wanted to be on.
Good stuff right there.
And so
did y'all go dance mode?
No, but Dave McCormick was, he was a trip. I mean, that panel. So you can find previous year's panels on our Facebook page, and some of them are on our YouTube. If you can find that panel, it is worth watching because he is hilarious. He spent like 10 minutes talking about pub subs because he discovered them here.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
It's amazing.
But yeah, so we have the charity aspects, we have the giving back. You talked about parking a moment ago. I will go ahead and tell people that next weekend downtown is going to be hairy
because with you guys, Monster Jam is going to be there as well.
Panoply.
Oh, okay. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and you want to make sure you get your parking.
Yeah. Go ahead and go park now. No.
Yes.
So
camp out.
But
that's one way to do it.
Part of it is, planning and, fail to plan, plan to fail kind of thing. So 10 months ago, I reached out to Arts Huntsville and was like, look, we got to get ahead of this because we're going to have essentially, close to 100,000 people in downtown Huntsville over 3 days. And we've been working with the city. They've got parking lots all over the place. Now you may have to walk a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm not talking parking in Nashville, have to pay $60 to park a mile away from where you want to be.
Yep.
And so but we're going to have a couple shuttles set up with alternative locations that will be free. So make a plan.
All right, Jeremy, real quick, because the music did just start. Tickets. Where does everybody need to get tickets?
You can go online at hsvexpo.com, or if you're local, you can go to Haven Comics and pick them up or at the door.
And I know, again, we only got about 40 seconds. You have a gaming area.
Oh, yeah.
What's all going to be happening there?
So we have tabletop gaming. We're going to have consoles. We might have some virtual reality going on. We've got big panel rooms. We've got fan panels. We got everything you want. It is quite the experience. You come, you stay all day and have fun.
All right.
We'll continue to jazz it up a little bit because I know plenty of this.
Next weekend, April 25th through the 27th. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We can seriously talk for hours on this. So thank you so much. We come back. We get back into your phone calls. Cover 5 coming up as well in the 10 o'clock hour on the Blitz. 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Carrabba's Italian Grill is the best place to enjoy authentic Italian cuisine, passed down from our founders' family recipes. Featuring a wood-burning grill, you can enjoy Carrabba's signature dishes, including chicken brine, wood-fired grilled steak and chops, and classic Italian pasta dishes. Have a special event? Elevate your catering with Carrabba's Catering, the perfect way to enjoy large party portions of your favorite hand-prepared dishes for any event. Carrabba's Italian Grill at Parkway Place, Huntsville.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a back compressor, a leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490.
AL certain number 21014.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bad compressor, leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490.
AL certain number 21014.
Hello, listeners. I want to tell you a little bit about Minuteman Press and what we have to offer our community. We specialize in paper printing and can help from designing your piece to the finished product. We print media guides for many of the athletic departments at high schools and universities around the area. We typically purchase sponsorships from these schools as well to try and help them with their fundraising. Once we have reached our new normal, we also print all types of marketing materials for you to hand out either in person, via mail, or at various trade shows and events. At Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
This is Brent Musburger's VSIN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
NASCAR Cup Series week off for the Easter holiday weekend. Kyle Larson, the 3-1 favorite to win the Cup title after his win at Bristol. Christopher Bell plus 450. Denny Hamlin 6-1. Next week, the Jack Links 500 at Talladega. Scotty Scheffler plus 360 to win the RBC Heritage at Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. The Harbortown Golf Links, traditional spot for the week after the Masters. Colin Morikawa is 11-1. Xander Schauffele is 12-1. Blue Jays over the Braves 6-3 in Toronto yesterday. Spencer Strider on the mound for the Braves today against Chris Bassett of the Blue Jays. Atlanta laying $1.48 as the road favorite. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID, and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. And Newmarket, Jefferson's will be opening a new location at 2190 County Road 65 very soon. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. Hampton Cove, and soon in Newmarket.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s. A couple of folks looking at the lower 70s, dropping into the mid and upper 40s as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. A mostly to partly sunny sky Thursday afternoon. Temperatures continuing to climb across the Tennessee Valley. Highs have no problems climbing into the mid 70s. Some of us could be looking at the upper 70s. Only dropping into the mid 50s as we head into the overnight. A mostly to partly sunny sky for your Friday. Temperatures consistently climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. And Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham on this Friday. Is not Friday. It is a Wednesday. It feels like a Friday because we are done after this. Like the day for us is done.
Oh, what?
No Tom Abraham today. Braves baseball is about to get going here in just a little bit. First pitch is at 12:07. Right behind John is going to be first pitch over on Talk Radio WZZN because the Trash Pandas are down in Montgomery playing the Biscuits this morning.
The Biscuits.
First pitch for that is 11 a.m.
Biscuits.
Is some biscuits. Man, they always have. You know what? Down at Riverwalk, where the Trash Pandas are playing today, this is where I discovered
throwing honey on a buttered
Oh
chicken
my
biscuit.
gosh. Oh,
This is
dude.
where I discovered it.
There is someone in your life, okay, that will tell you that honey and butter are perfect together. And you know what? You might doubt them at first, Joe. But my golly, once you do it,
Look, this is and that's the reason I say is because with the trash pandas down there, they try to lean into the biscuit thing.
buttery biscuit.
And so they have different types of biscuits that you can have, chicken biscuits, all this stuff, especially with it being an 11 a.m. first pitch. But that is where I discovered the chicken biscuit with honey.
Oh,
that's where
butter
right there, and butter.
Don't forget the butter.
The butter is included in the biscuit.
I have never had. I don't think I've ever had the chicken mixed with the honey and the butter.
Every single day that I bring in Whataburger.
That's what it is.
That is exactly what it is. That is it. That is it. You can get a little bit of extra honey. You can get normal honey or light honey on your chicken biscuit. Boom.
I don't know if you need to ever go light honey, honestly.
Well,
I mean,
when you're
wanna
driving down the road.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, that's the only time that you would absolutely want to do that.
Biscuit's got some cool gear, though. I will say that. And Montgomery's not too far away, so
it's 3 hours and 30 minutes.
Well, that's why we have the game on our network, Talk Radio WZZN.
I've made that drive multiple times. I know exactly how long that sucker is.
So if you're looking forward to some Trash Pandas baseball, don't know how to listen to it, well, Talk Radio WZZN is the place to go. You can find it online. Just look up talkradiowzzn.com or download the app, Android and Apple devices, and you'll be able to listen to the game as soon as it tips off.
Yes, and we definitely also, before we
Pitches
continue, what?
I'm just, is it a pitch off? Like, what is it?
It's first pitch.
But I was going at it like it tips off. No, it's kickoff.
No, you join us before first pitch.
Okay, so I was just going at it at the wrong angle.
Yeah, it's just the verbiage is right, but I mean the thought process is right. The verbiage was just a little wrong. That was the only part about it. As you heard in the background, you can also join the show at 256-576-4977. Oh, I thought you were talking. I wasn't going to do it. 977. As you can hop in as we go with this, as the transfer portal is 1,000% open. We are keeping track of all the massive names and major names that have entered the portal so far, because this morning alone, there have been 200 more names of players that were not in the transfer portal already that have already entered just in the last hour or two. I joked with John beforehand, hey, by the time that Jeremy walks out of this room, we're probably going to have, 10 or 15 more names that we can be like talking about in this. And no, it was actually 100 more people have entered the transfer portal.
It is quite insane.
Yes.
It's like stepping on an anthill and all of the ants come running up. That's what today is for college football.
It is. Every bit of this is, let me refresh and see what player is entering the transfer portal. Now, locally, if you are an Auburn fan, the biggest one that at the moment, yes, you lost a secondary player, made his announcement that he was going to be entering the transfer portal, but you're also now losing your starting left guard, as Braden Joyner is going to be entering the portal. He started the last 6 games of the regular season for Auburn. He was all SEC last year for the all freshman team, and he's an Auburn high school graduate, but he is now entering the transfer portal and going elsewhere. So those are some of the names right now that we're talking about. And in a lot of the other people that have entered the transfer portal are at the moment not at the caliber, or I should say level of Nico.
No,
those types of guys.
It's 3 stars and no stars mainly. And I'm seeing Middle Tennessee's taking a hit. They lost the wide receiver that I actually played with in my dynasty for college football.
I thought you were about to say like you played with in school.
No, and then Caleb Reed as well, who's the defensive
by the way,
edge as well.
I now realize the reason why Nico is no longer going to North Carolina.
Because they got a quarterback?
Gio Lopez from South Alabama.
They did. It was
I just now
it's
realized
a pretty big
that.
story. Definitely not the same caliber, but it's somebody you can build up to a Nico level. I wouldn't say to exactly Nico's level, but it's somebody that's not going to cost you $4 million. Damn it. Come on.
Well,
what are you doing?
Apparently Nico's not going to cost you $4 million either in that. So it is lot of players that of this line, offensive line help, wide receivers, those types of players. Running back for Georgia, the fourth string running back who was the number 2 running back in the 2022 class, Braden Robinson, I believe is his name. He's going to be going into the portal. Branson Robinson.
Close.
He's only going. He only rushed for like 73 yards last season, and apparently he's got interest from Clemson, North Carolina, Colorado, and Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are some of the deal that is happening in this. Dude, I'm telling you, I am more excited about transfer portal day than I was about any national signing day, any one of them in like the last 5 years.
I mean, you get a lot of the big signees, 5 days earlier, you hear where they're going to go. And then it's like, oh, that's cool. And then come the day of the national signing day, it's just like, all right, waiting for anything. Oh, who's this guy? No, I have no idea who that guy is. Maybe he'll do something. But this, you see the smaller schools, and of course, this is where the transfer portal thrives, is where a guy can go to a smaller school and upgrade to a bigger school. Now, it sucks for the smaller organizations like MTSU, who is losing a lot of players right now. But for these players' futures, they're able to make it to maybe a Power 4 school to where they're able to thrive a little bit more, make a little bit more money. But then whenever you get those SEC transfers or you get those Big Ten transfers, that's when it's just like, oh, so it's a different perspective. So he wasn't getting the playing time. Where is he going to go in the Power 4? Or is he going to go down to the group of 5 like a lot of people are starting to think Nico might?
The number 1 offensive tackle in the 2022 class, which was a 5-star, Zach Rice from North Carolina, has just entered the transfer portal as well. Nye Carr, who was a wide receiver for Miami last year, he was a top 80 recruit. He still has 4 years of eligibility left. He's transferring from Miami. There's a cornerback that is just transferred to Ole Miss. Like, these are things that have happened all in the last 30 minutes. The son of Brian Urlacher has just entered the transfer portal because he was playing at Notre Dame. He still has 3 years of eligibility left, and he is now in the portal as well. So
that's a fitment thing. He's trying to find the right fit for him and also playing time as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's where even like with somebody like a Zach Rice, he's like, you know what, I can go somewhere. I know how my talents are. Let me just go out and see, and I can go somewhere better than North Carolina and not do this Bill Belichick thing.
Before we hop to the phone lines at 256-576-9777, the biggest names right now in the transfer portal, most notable, obviously Nico. He's on a do not contact thing. Kind of awkward. Julian Neal from Stanford, the cornerback. He's an absolute stud. Joe Cotton from South Dakota. I think we've all seen this dude. He's the tackle. South Dakota. There's like one picture out there that makes you really think, wow, this is an absolute beast. Jaden Rashada still for Georgia, transferring out, still in the midst of suing, of course, Florida.
And it's not going to help you. If you're trying to sue somebody, it's probably not going to help you with this.
I wouldn't take him. Jonte Cook, the wide receiver from Washington. I'd keep an eye on Alabama, honestly, for that one. But either way, let's hop to those phone lines, 256-576-9777. Brandon's on with us, and hopefully he's talking everything but food. What's up, man?
Well, y'all were talking about those honey butter. I mean, when you get those things at the restaurant cheddars, oh, they're so good.
Oh, my gosh. The first time I had the honey butter and anything like chicken, because I might have had the honey butter and chicken, Joe, it was from KFC. And a lot of people like to throw a little hate on KFC, but they were doing some interesting things back in 2019. And one of those included a waffle. No, it was the donut chicken sandwich. It was a glazed donut chicken sandwich.
They need to bring back the grilled chicken. I was a big fan of that. And I was just at the Big Chicken in Marietta Sunday because my son wanted to go there after we came back from our trip to the Dominican Republic that required van drivers with guns to take us to KFC.
Yeah, I heard about that. That sounds like an episode of Call of Duty or something. I'm glad you got back safe. I actually get to dive into some chicken after the show today.
Yes, you do.
Thanks to Joe.
Yes,
Joe, you hooked me up with a little date.
You and Moulton are going to be going on a little date, and y'all get to go try out some new chicken. Yep.
Is it going to be steel drum trash can chicken?
No, No, it is definitely not going to be that.
Thank God.
No, it's actually going to be Dave's Hot Chicken in Madison. They're going to go head out over there. And we got an invite to go try that place out as it's getting ready to open. And that is where John and Steve are going to be going right after the show. They have a little open period for those guys that they're going to go over and get to try some of their food.
I might snag Summer as well. You know, she's a fan of chicken as well. And it says I could bring a guest. So why
That's
not?
true.
You know,
that's true.
The more the merrier.
That's nice.
Yeah.
We need to get y'all down there for a remote at some point soon.
Oh, I'm all for it.
That's why we're trying to set it up.
Is any chance Hugh Freeze is going in the transfer portal?
I'll help write his stuff up if he wants to. Can coaches go? I'd love for him to go into the transfer portal.
Well, the thing is about that, there's contracts. There's contracts that you can't break. And if you do, you got to pay a lot of money. And what's one thing the players don't have?
Yeah, no, I would 1,000% be able to go in there because, again, if I know that Nico cannot go to the SEC because the SEC rules, but if there was a way for Hugh Freeze to make that happen, you are an absolute moron if you have not already called him. So that's the part for me that just absolutely blows me away because I'm looking at the transfer portal right now. Obviously, you do have the Jackson Arnold part of this, but there are literally no other quarterback options unless you get down to like Chandler Rogers from Cal, which, I mean, you kind of have a history with him. You can go Jaden Rashada if you want to.
No.
I mean, why not? Like they're like
he hasn't shown us anything. That's the funny
neither
thing
is
about
Jackson
it.
Arnold.
He beat Alabama.
So, yeah.
Alabama beat themselves,
Well,
let's be honest.
Well, I called yesterday and we were talking about the Browns and talking about their first round picks. So when we were talking about quarterbacks. So as a validation, I wanted to give some accurate numbers.
Okay.
So since they came back, they've had 33 first-round picks in the time they've been back. They traded their picks in 08, 19, 22, 23, and 24.
Yeah, I mean, they had two first-round picks the year of Manziel.
Yeah, and they had multiple picks in 7, 17, and 18.
Yep.
So of those people that they had, first-round picks that they re-signed, Joe Thomas, Joe Hayden, Myles Garrett, Jedrick Wills, Denzel Ward, David Njoku, Courtney Brown, and Alex Mack. Well, if you do the numbers based on the picks they traded away, they have re-signed 28, almost 29% of their first-rounders. If you do it on the overall of the 33, they've re-signed 24%.
The crazy thing is that only goes back to like 2009, whenever Joe Hayden was signed, out of Florida.
Yes. I mean, Joe Thomas is an NFL Hall of Famer. So, I mean, hey,
and he never missed the Pro Bowl. I mean,
Yeah.
He never even missed a snap until his last season. I mean, I should have threw those guys out there, but thinking about the quarterbacks, there was not one of them in that entire list.
Well, but I wanted to verify that, and I wanted to go back to 99 when they started and look at these numbers. So I am wondering, what is the NFL average of re-signing first-round picks?
Since
Is it
1999.
Yeah, since 99, what's the average there? So what would the number have been here, 28% being the high, re-signing none of the quarterbacks? It would have had to at least got you into the 33 to 35% range.
Yeah, I definitely.
So I would
go ahead.
I would guess that a normality would be that you would minimally re-sign at least a third of your first-round picks.
Yeah, I could see that. I'd see it would not get above 50%. I mean, there might be the odd occurrence where that happens, but I don't think it would go back in this amount of time. In 25 years, 26 years now, it would definitely be. It'd have to sit around. I'd say 30. I'd say 37. I would say that would be the most that we'd see.
So I'd love to know the answer to that. And when I get a little bit of time, I'm going to compare it to the Falcons, who had a little bit of a bad run with Sam Baker and some of these other people that they signed.
Yeah.
And I just want to see what the difference is between those two in the past 25 years, 25, 26 years. So what is the norm there? I'm wondering are the Browns more normal than we think, or are they a little below water?
I would say they're a little bit below.
Yeah, they're below. Let's just think of. Okay, so what was it? Yesterday was the anniversary of the Titanic sinking.
Yeah,
this would be the Titanic today, 100 years ago.
Didn't it sink on 4/12?
I think it started.
Oh, it was 1912. Where
yeah,
it
1912.
Because
Look, the sinking happened the same day that Fenway Park opened.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
you would know that, you dang Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, it's part of the history on this. So yeah, it'd be like today back in 1912 with the Titanic.
Gotcha.
Yes, it's on the floor.
And I was looking at that, I want to compare that to the Titans and compare it to the Falcons and just say, what are they?
I got one more for you. Jacksonville.
So the Titans over like the last 4 years 5 years, that's been awful. I mean, that has been absolutely
That goes back to
awful.
2010, dude. Jake Locker? Was he the first round pick for the Titans back then?
Yes, he was. He was 10th overall, if I remember correctly.
That was fitting.
Yeah, I mean,
it only lasted 10 days.
Well, it was because he kept getting hit.
I know
himself, and then when he stopped doing dumb things, then some Cleveland Brown player decided to knock him out in the end zone during a play and caused him to go out as well.
I do remember that.
Yeah,
Montez perfect.
It may have been. So, like, I'm looking back right now. They're not going to re-sign Treylon Burks. They're not. They definitely have already cut Caleb Farley. Isaiah Wilson, I don't even think that man made it a month there. Big Jeff was the last one that they re-signed. They did not re-sign Rashaan Evans. Don't think they ever re-signed Corey Davis. I think that they let him go before they actually – I don't think they re-signed Conklin, and they definitely didn't re-sign Marcus Mariota. Taylor Lewan. So over the last decade or 11 years, Taylor Lewan and Big Jeff are the only two at the moment that have been re-signed. Peter Skoronski is going to work on it, that he may get re-signed, and then depending on what J.C. Latham does over the next 3 or 4 years, he could as well because he had a good rookie year.
So compared to the Titans and compared to the Jaguars, the numbers may not look that bad.
I wouldn't think
outside
so.
Quarterbacks.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. I mean, these three teams all kind of share a very miserable up and down. I mean, like, go back to Blake Bortles. I mean, that guy was a hero.
That was one. When they drafted him, I looked at the TV and said, there are so many people that are going to be out of a job over this.
And they are. But then everybody thought, oh, well, look at him. He got us to the conference championship game.
Yeah, but
he
also
got us there.
Nick Foles was there.
But see, that's in the thing about it with the Titans. The Titans draft history with quarterbacks is horrific. I mean, you have to literally, I think the last good quarterback that this team drafted was Steve McNair. Like, genuinely. Like, it
consistently good. Yes.
Just not put in Vince Young. That man can barely even read good quarterback on a book.
I was gonna say Marcus. I think Marcus outside
of
Vince Young's first season, Joe, Marcus Mariota, I think was better.
Well, yeah, he was better than Vince Young, but he still wasn't great. Jake Locker
were
was bad.
Were the Browns an active franchise during the Music City Miracle?
Yes, that was their first season back.
That was their first. Okay, I was trying to remember. Okay, so. God, the Titans haven't had a decent quarterback since McNair.
They haven't drafted a decent quarterback. No.
I might have to apologize to Brown.
So look, Will Levis. So they got Will Levis in the second round, Malik Willis in the third round. Both of those, Will Levis not totally gone yet, but Malik definitely gone.
Look, the draft thing is one thing, but also the Titans have done a better job trading and getting quarterbacks in.
So Cole McDonald, I don't even think he's ever taken a snap out of Hawaii right now. Luke Falk from Washington State, I think that he may have taken a few. I don't even know if he's ever actually started a game in the NFL. Then you have Mariota that they drafted back in 2015. Then you have Zach Mettenberger the year before that. You go back to Locker, who was drafted 8th overall. That was back in 2011. Rusty Smith. Rusty, who's gotten a start because of injuries. And then Vince Young back in 2006. And then before Vince Young, it was Kevin Daft from UC Davis that they drafted in 1999.
Love his music.
And the Daft Punk.
Yeah.
And then Steve McNair back in 1995. That is the list of quarterbacks that the Titans have drafted since back before they even became the Titans and they were still the Houston Oilers. They have not drafted a good quarterback since becoming the Tennessee Titans.
Well, neither are the Browns.
Well, it makes you wonder. I mean, I know Jacksonville. When you look at that, and I know who they got down there now and what they're paying them, and I don't think they're getting their money's worth for it by far. But it just goes to show that getting the quarterback right, as much as they reach, is a big deal.
Absolutely,
and how much it just hampers a franchise. And it's amazing that with all those years, you couldn't find one guy to be a 5-year starter.
Yeah, and
other than Tim Couch.
And it can also cover up deficiencies as well. Like the part with Will Levis is, again, he makes bad decisions. A lot of his stuff is between the ears. He is an amazing leader. Like I've been around the guy. He has an amazing personality. He's charismatic. The whole locker room loves him. He is a fantastic person that if he could figure this out on the field, the city is ready to love him. It's just figuring it out on the field. Other quarterbacks that this team has drafted, they've had to reach, but if they reach and they get a great quarterback, it's going to cover up some of the other insufficiencies. Because even look at with Mariota when he was a quarterback, it's not like he had amazing players around him in the very beginning. That's when they started adding Corey Davis and then AJ Brown. And then those, like, again, the Titans' best job that they've done at quarterback is bringing in Ryan Tannehill. He was the most consistent quarterback for that team and was
agreed.
And again, it was Tannehill that got him to the AFC Championship game. It was not Mariota. Mariota was in the back of it, but he wasn't the one. Mariota's the one that got them through Kansas City the previous season.
Threw a touchdown pass to himself.
Yeah, exactly. In like the 13 degrees that they played in down in Kansas City, like that was who it was. But this team, I mean, yes, as much as I make fun of the Browns, like the Titans have missed on first round quarterbacks as well, because they missed on Locker, they missed on Young. And I mean, Levis was the second round, so you can't even bring him in. Malik Willis was the third round. You can't bring him into this conversation. So yeah, this thing that they're going to be doing in a couple of weeks when they go to draft Cam Ward, who's already making comments on his Twitch right now about the Titans. Like, yeah, that is a massive deal. They have to get this right.
Well, I just hope for their sake they don't get a false positive in a Mark Sanchez where he gives you 2 good years and then you find out what he really is when the roster's not quite as good when you have to pay him.
Seems like the Titans story.
Well, that's what's happened. I mean, that is what happened. And look, I know that Jay Locker, I make fun of him, but he was a good quarterback when he was healthy.
Yeah.
That his issue wasn't the fact that he wasn't a bad quarterback. He was a bad quarterback.
His damn brains were scrambled.
He just could not stay healthy because he kept getting concussions and he kept getting hit and he kept getting injuries.
Well, I just need to know if they sign Cam Ward and if they draft him, if he can pull Ryan Fitzpatrick and come out with the right shirt and the right glasses on. I think that needs to be a litmus test of his personality to be part of the team going forward.
Vince Young would have failed that test. He failed every other test that was given to him before he got drafted by the Titans.
Hey, somebody's got to make a 6 on the Wonderlic. It happened.
I mean,
true.
Absolutely. I think my 6-year-old could make a 6 on the Wonderlic test right now, just guessing.
Brandon, we appreciate it, man. Always good.
Go, Todd.
Great stuff. We got to hit a break. We're well over, but it's all right. When we come back, the cover 5, so that'll complete this smorgasbord of an episode of The Blitz here on a wacky Wednesday here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as WZZN TV.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games, and if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title, because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
This hour brought to you by Sports Med Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. If any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today, 256-208-9000, 256-208-9000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Tom Abraham here for Valley Equipment Rental. You know, if you're a contractor installing fences, you need Valley Equipment Rental for augers of all sizes. And if you need a forklift to get those shingles up high on a roof, Valley Equipment has 10K lifts that reach to 56 feet. Valley also has tow-behind lifts that have a working height of 35 to 55 feet as well for power washing those two-story homes or doing whatever else you need to do. Lifts, forklifts, tow-behind lifts, 35 feet and up. They have your lift at Valley Equipment Rental. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental.
All right, we are getting ready for Braves and Blue Jays coming up at noon. After that, the drive is going to be at Baumhauer's today, enjoying that. But today is Spencer Strider's 2025 debut.
Let's go, baby!
As he is ready to go, and you are going to have a Braves team trying to win the series in Toronto because they can't win back-to-back games. They've yet to do that all season long. They're also, by the way, straight up 500 since starting 0-7.
I'm just saying, this is a good team.
It's a slow rise.
Exactly.
It's like the opposite of the Titanic. It's trying to stay above water right now.
I get the trend that we're going with, but
yeah,
people died. Like a lot of people died.
I'm sorry. Would you like for me to call them?
They didn't even have phones back then, Joe.
Exactly. Okay, it's over 100 years ago. I am so sorry for making a joke about something that happened over 100 years ago.
Look, this show gets a little dark at times. Everything's a joke, regardless, and a little bit informative.
Speaking of which, it was very dark that night. Again, this is one of my rabbit holes that I've went down with the Titanic.
Apparently, it was very dark that night because they missed an iceberg, Joe.
Okay, there's a reason why they missed an iceberg, or they hit the iceberg. They didn't miss it.
Yeah, they didn't miss
If
it.
they would have missed it, nobody would have known about anything like, have you taken the trip on the Titanic? It's really fun. No.
See, we should have had these conversations prior to Brandon going on a big boat and out into the Caribbean.
Yeah, that's what happens. Like my buddies, whenever we went to Las Vegas, we were all watching movies on the flight. I'm over here watching like Casino. They're over here watching like 21, and they're watching
Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah, they're watching what is it, Hangover and all this. Like, dude, Vegas is gonna be so much fun. I'm sitting there going, I swear we better not screw up the casino. We're gonna end up in a hole in the desert.
Bro, I'm gonna get locked in so I don't end up in a hole in the desert with some lizards.
Like that's what it is. The phone lines are open to you, 256-576-977. But no, there is a theory out now about why they could not see the iceberg, and even if they would have had binoculars, it wouldn't have helped them because of the way that the moon was lit and the lack of stars and where they were.
Yeah, they should have had their brights on.
It was a mirage. That's what it was. In front of the boat was a mirage that was created by the atmosphere that night in that part of the ocean.
I didn't know being a captain of a ship would be this complicated, but
Yes.
apparently the Titanic has solidified that.
Yes.
So maybe
Well-
I don't want to be a captain of a ship.
Yeah, it solidified that like 100 years ago. But there's the theory on the Titanic in there in that. So yeah, that's one of the theories.
I feel like this is setting up for a question. Is there a theory question inside the cover
It
five?
actually was not in theirs. Like this was like I would have thought if we were going to go with theories on this, it would have been like a conspiracy theory, like your favorite sports conspiracy
or like
theory.
a game theory.
There's a game theory. What's a game theory?
It's a theory about games.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe a game theory.
No, this was so what I will do actually is we're going to have a little bit of fun with some of these questions. So you can hop in as well. You can participate. We're going to have a lot of questions in here that are obviously very open-ended for anybody that wants to add to the question. The first one is wanting to wish Kareem Abdul-Jabbar today a happy 78th birthday. Today, he is turning 78 years old, 6-time NBA champion, and he was a part of the Showtime Lakers, which got a lot of 80s kids and 70s kids into basketball.
Like you.
No, that's where the question's coming in. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry.
What athlete caught your eye and caused you to become a fan of a team and or sport? Which one is it? When you go back and be like, man, this is the one right here.
I'm gonna be real with you, Joe.
If you name some NASCAR driver,
Hell no.
where
Dale Earnhardt Jr. If it was NASCAR, it would be Dale Earnhardt Jr. I have a player for every sport. That's the fun thing. Jordan Tutu for hockey. Loved him, dude. Absolute bruiser for the Preds. I go over, I think about Joshua Cribbs. Why not? The kick returner for the Cleveland Browns back whenever they were still the Cleveland Browns before they switched over to their uniforms.
Yeah, they weren't as bad.
No, they were still bad.
Yeah,
Charlie
they-
Fry was their quarterback, Joe.
Again, they weren't as bad. You're right.
They were ass bad.
What you would do is you would say, you know what? I'm going to start a franchise with the Browns, and the first thing I'm doing is trading for a quarterback. And then when you trade it for a quarterback, you're like, dude, this team's actually pretty good. Like, it's amazing how one quarterback can change everything.
I remember my brother playing Madden 09, and that's whenever they had Brady Quinn, and he created Johnny Manziel to play on that team, and that didn't work out. So then he just traded for Michael Vick, and that became a thing that we did moving forward. Always traded for Michael Vick, always got Des Bryant.
What? Oh, let me get two guys that honestly should be Hall of Famers. Yeah, let's just get two of those guys. It's like me. It's like me going and saying, you know what? I'm going to start a dynasty with the Kansas City Royals. And what I'm going to do is I am going to trade for Aaron Judge for my hitter, and my ace I am going to trade for Garrett Cole because he can't get injured in the game. There we go.
You know, it's funny. I hopped on 2015, the show on my
Yeah.
PS Vita. I told you that Garrett Cole, I saw him. He was on the Pirates. I was like, I didn't think I'd see somebody I recognized so fast.
Yeah, no,
So, it was pretty
absolutely.
funny.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe? What would be a player that got you into a sport? This would probably be back in the 80s and 90s.
Well, Jordan's always going to be the first one that got me into basketball. Like it will always be that. Like there will be moments I can always remember. Look, this is how big Jordan was. And this is kind of the talking about before there was Twitter and all this other stuff. I would go get my haircut, which I really need to get done today.
Like Jordan?
I'm closer now than I was then. And me and the lady that is cutting my hair was able to talk about the Chicago Bulls. Like that's in Huntsville, Alabama. We were able to talk about the Chicago Bulls.
Believe it or not, Joe, I had an NBA player that also got me into the sport for a split second. It was Rudy Gay for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yes.
I had a jersey.
Okay.
A Rudy Gay jersey.
I was really hoping you were going to say like Vince Carter. I was hoping that you would say something like that.
I don't know who that is.
You need to turn your microphone off right now. Brandon says Merton Hanks made me a fan of the 49ers.
Nice.
And that interception touchdown return where he slung his neck around like a giraffe is the reason that he did it. So there's that question. Okay, next question as part of the cover 5.
Nice.
Do you know what today is?
The day after tax day.
It is the day after tax day. I found out just a little while ago that today is officially Joseph Day.
Wow.
It is a day to celebrate Josephs.
That's like 50% of Huntsville's population, apparently. I have a neighbor named Joseph. You're named Joseph. I got 3 cards in my wallet right now with the name Joe on it. I'm just like, what the hell? Why
You've
are
got
there
like
so
3
many?
brothers named Joe.
Seems that
There
way.
is. So my question is, who is your favorite Joseph of all time? No, this is not about me. Okay. Before anybody wants to say that, nope, not about me. There are so many famous historical Josephs, Joes, Joeys. Could be a character. Doesn't even have to be the first name. You can go with the Joseph as the last name. What is your favorite Joseph?
So, Joe Thomas would be one of them.
Well, yeah, you are. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Obviously, my brother Joe. I call him Joey Senpai. That's a little Japanese reference, Joe. You might be there.
I do not
There's
know that
so many
one yet.
damn Joes in this.
No.
Senpai is like somebody you look up to. So
Okay.
apparently you would also be a Joe Senpai, but there can only be one Joe Senpai in
There can only
my
be
opinion.
one.
And
It's
he's
like Highlander.
Yeah, he's Joe Senpai in my phone. So I'll say Joe Thomas, Joe Abraham. I'll say those are my 2 favorite Joes.
Not Joe Biden.
What about you, Joe? So many damn Joes.
There are. Look, I just randomly put up like famous Joes in Google right now. So we have Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Okay.
Okay. So there's one right there. You can also
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
That's a good one.
Joe Pesci.
Oh, some people say I look like Joe Jonas.
Nobody's saying that outside your girlfriend.
No, I used to actually look like him.
Yeah, mention Joe Biden. You also like I'm looking at here, Chief Joseph. We just mentioned one that is coming to the Huntsville the expo next weekend, and that is Joey Lawrence. You have that famous Joey as well, Curtis Joseph.
Joe Gatto from Impractical Jokers.
No.
Is that a different Joe?
No, I'm just never going to say anybody from Impractical Jokers on this. No.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Burrow.
That's a good one.
Joe Rogan. You just mentioned that one as well.
Joseph Stalin.
Who?
Joseph Stalin.
Okay. There you go. See, in my head, it's not even clicking right now, which is really kind of bad on that. Joe Hendry, which every wrestling fan knows. Yeah, I mean, if you believe in Joe Hendry, like, come on now. There's a lot of Joes on there. I will say, though, in all reality, though, my favorite Joseph is the first one. Not even going to lie. Biblical Joseph. That dude went through some stuff. Okay.
Joe Camel.
No, not Joe Camel. Not going to say Joe Camel on this.
I didn't read the rest of his sentence.
He got canceled before canceling people was a thing.
Joe Goldberg from You.
See, this is that you're going down. You're continuing to go down. Yeah, I'm going to go with the first Joseph.
I like it.
Okay, now he, like the Abrahams, had like 15 family members. But you know what? This is how bad it is. You think you've got it bad? His brother sold him into slavery. Like, we're getting totally rid of you. Like, we're not just going to accidentally like leave you somewhere and be like, hey, let's go snipe hunting. No, we are going to totally sell you off, and you're going to become like, you're going to be a slave for like years and years. And what does he do? Comes back and he's like one of the greatest rulers of all of Egypt. Like, just, hey, you know what?
I'll be back.
Yeah.
Better than ever.
Yeah. And he was just like, you know what, guys, I forgive you.
Respect
I
for that
forgive
pick
you.
right there.
See, that's what I'm saying.
I was thinking
that's the
small.
only reason.
I was thinking small. You were thinking big term.
It's the
He
only
lived
reason.
to like 780.
He did. I mean,
So,
God, I wonder what kind of like, he had to eat well. I don't know how, because he was basically eating slop the entire time that he was a slave. But I mean, hey.
less diseases back then too. I don't think COVID was a thing.
No, probably not.
I don't think smallpox was around yet. The
I'm
Black Plague didn't hit.
Well, I mean, you have that whole, 7 deadly, like, things that kind of like
The
locust,
7 deadly sins,
like the locust and all that sort of stuff that,
you're going a different way.
Yeah. The
frogs falling from the sky,
frogs flying, the whole blood across the top of your doorway,
Sacrificing goats.
The first child and all that sort of thing. I mean, there's some things that happened back then that were kind of bad.
Yeah, it turns out the Bible's actually a horror novel.
You know what? You could really turn it into that. I know that we're in the Bible Belt, but if you looked at this from a different angle, this could be terrifying.
It could be. Well, religion doesn't have to be all sunshine and butterflies.
I've got one last one for you. We're going to ask right before we go, because again, I'm trying to keep this more sports area interesting.
Okay.
Because we had Jeremy Long on to talk about the expo that's coming up, the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo, which you'll be able to rewatch that on WZZN TV if you missed it there. But we are going to come back here in just a moment with the final question from the Cover 5, 256-576-977 as we continue on a transfer portal Wednesday. We're just not entering it. We're like the only ones not entering the transfer portal.
Well, we're entering break.
We'll be back on WZZN TV at 97.7 ESPN Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
The Braves roll into the 2025 season with a singular focus. Bring home the division title and remind the league what Atlanta is all about.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley. 3-0 to Olsen, and he powers one. Deep right center field to the wall. It's gonna fly. It's a home run. Back-to-back homers.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID, and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. At Newmarket, Jefferson's will be opening a new location at 2190 County Road 65 very soon. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. Hampton Cove, and soon in Newmarket. SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life?
It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Hold your block until the whistle blows.
From SEC Media Days to the National Championship game.
This was a great team win.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Final segment, best segment, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, WCCN TV. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, this Wednesday morning on the Blitz, coming up in about 11 minutes from right now over on our sister station, WZZN Talk Radio. You are going to be able to listen to the Trash Pandas and the Biscuits. They're going to be having first pitch at 11 a.m. at 12 o'clock. On 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, it will be the Braves and the Blue Jays. That series is tied at 1, rubber match today, and the Braves are starting 1. Spencer Strider. Nice. He is back, and he is going to be ready to go for this afternoon. You'll be able to hear all of that on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Phone lines are open, though, for the next couple of minutes before we wrap everything up for the day, doing the Cover 5. And John, I'm going to finish this up with one final question before we get out of here, which no massive names have been entered the transfer portal since we started the Cover 5. For anybody that is curious about that, because I'm keeping track of it as we continue to go along.
Wait, you're not bringing up Trey Leonhardt from Appalachian State?
So no massive names have actually entered the transfer portal just over the course of the last 20, 25 minutes or so, because I don't want to miss that just in case it does happen. But here's your final question. Do you know what happened today in 1929?
World War I started.
No.
1921?
No.
1929?
No.
What year?
1929.
Yeah, World War I.
No, that was 1914.
Oh, you're right. There was that little bit of time in between.
Yeah,
we were out of money.
The Great Depression, where like everything was just dead. Everybody was living in like a desert because nobody could farm anything. Nobody could grow anything. All the money was gone. Like, that
went into the war, and then we also lost quite a bit of workers. So, yeah, depression indeed.
Yeah.
No, what happened on the 29th of the 19th?
So I said I was going to keep this sports oriented. So today is the day that the New York Yankees became the first Major League Baseball team to permanently feature numbers on the back of their uniforms.
Hey, there you go. Advancing technology.
See?
like the torpedo bat. They've always been doing it.
Yes, they did. And in fact, speaking of the Braves, there was a Braves player last night. Was it Sean Murphy that had it? I can't remember exactly who it was.
What, 42 on his back?
Yeah, number 42 yesterday. He had the torpedo bat. He was hitting it for the Braves. He struck out, which it doesn't help you if you don't make contact. No, so it was that. But the question is, what's your favorite number? It's a simple question.
Wow, my favorite number.
Your favorite sports number, whatever it is, your favorite number.
Oh,
because again, the New York Yankees made it a permanent feature on the back of their uniforms, adding numbers to the back, which did correspond with the position, the batting order. So that's the reason why Babe Ruth wore 3. It's because he batted 3rd.
Okay. So this one, it has to get broken down a little bit more than that. Okay. All right, Joe? It's a little bit more complicated. When I was young, 88 was the number. All right. I loved it. It didn't look good on me as a football player, though. I looked like a tight end I looked like a scrawny little kid with a tight end number. It just didn't fit. Then it got to the point where I wanted to be number 12.
Okay.
Because I've always loved the number 12. I always thought it was a really cool number. Colt McCoy, of course, and then all the other guys that came before it, like Joe Montana.
I love the fact that you use Colt McCoy as your reference.
Yeah. So I ended up being 10 because 12 got taken. I was upset about it. So 10 is my favorite number. And we got a lot of phones.
Yeah, we do actually.
Yeah, and then I would say 28 just because, I like the number. All right, gosh.
Okay. I'm so sorry that we asked a question that has a massive answer to it that everybody wants to call in about, John, as we've only got like 3 minutes left. But hey, that's fine with it. All right, anybody that knows me knows that the number is 27. It is always 27. I tried to get some variation of it throughout my entire life. Whenever I was playing ball and we were buying uniforms, I would get 27. In high school, we didn't have the jersey 27. We didn't get new uniforms, so I got 25.
You and my brother are similar in the
Yes.
way that you like the number 27. It looks good on a baseball uniform.
Yeah, so when I was in JUCO, somebody already had 27. He was older than I was, and he was higher class. So he got 27. So I got 28. And then when I got to UAH, literally the person right in front of me got the number 27, like directly in front of me because we were all on the line.
I hate that.
And he was the guy right in front of me. He goes, "Yeah, can I get 27?"
That was the same story with me and getting the number 12.
Are you kidding me? Like it was the last person. Nobody else had gotten it.
I'm looking at you, Andrew Miller. Yeah, I called you out.
I ended up wearing 37, which still gets me looks right now every single time I wear my sweatshirt to the ball field because CJ Carson for UAH wears 37 now. And so his family will be at the game and they're like, "Why do you got our son's number on your shirt?" No, it's my number.
Brandon says you only like 27 whenever you were playing baseball because of Derrick Henry.
Correction. It was actually because of Fred McGriff.
Yeah, Derrick Henry actually picked 27 because of Joe Hunk.
That's right. You just didn't know that, did you?
Josh on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Josh, how you doing, man?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
Talking numbers, man.
Hey, my number, and I know this is such a common number, so don't think this is because of all the other players that wore this number, but my number was always 16. And I was able to get it when I played all through baseball at S.R. Butler High School. But during football, I could not get 16 to save my life because I was a defensive back. So I had to just go with some random number. And I couldn't even remember what my number was. But baseball, I was able to get my 16. So I had 16 for baseball.
Yep, because you have
Appreciate
Bobby
that,
Hull,
Josh.
Brett Hull, Whitey Ford, and Joe Montana all wore 16.
I got mixed up with my quarterbacks. Tom's going to kill me.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit